Good day, everyone. Welcome to our video report. Today, we will be presenting our topic entitled March to Recognition, Americans in the Philippines, Nationalism and Transition. So, before we begin, let me introduce our group. I am Janel, Julian, and here with me is Miss HANABEA Liberato, Miss JAMAICA Lucas, and Miss RHODORA Lucas. Together, we will explain the key ideas and important points of our lesson, such as how the American influences the Philippines. So, we hope you learned something important from our presentation. I will explain the Filipino journey towards gaining recognition and independence during the American colonial period, from 1898 to 1946. This period is called March to Recognition because it highlights the struggle of Filipinos to be acknowledged as an independent nation. It was a time marked by resistance, cooperation, nationalism, and major political changes. After the Spanish-American War in 1898, the Spain lost control of the Philippines, and the United States took over. Even though Filipinos had already declared independence under Emilio Aguinaldo, the U.S. did not accept it. This disagreement eventually caused the Philippine-American War in 1899 to 1902. Once the Americans established their authority, they introduced many changes that greatly influenced the development of the Philippines. One of their biggest contributions was the creation of public school system, which made education more accessible to many Filipinos. English was introduced as the main language of instruction, which later became one of the country's official language. The Americans also launched health and sanitation programs to improve public health, reduce disease, and teach Filipinos about hygiene. Another major contribution was the improvement of infrastructure. They built roads, bridges, hospitals, government buildings, which help connect towns and provinces and improve daily life for many Filipinos. The Americans also established democratic government structures, introducing ideas like election, civil rights, and representative government. This system influences how the Filipino function politically even in these days.
Hello everyone, good day. I am HANABEA Liberato. Today I will discuss the rise of Filipino nationalism. The rise of Filipino nationalism developed as Filipinos strive for greater participation in government, a stronger national identity, and eventual independence from foreign rule. Key leaders and movements helped strengthen the country's national consciousness. The importance of Filipino leaders. First is Manuel L. Quezon, known as the father of the Philippine independence movement in the U.S. Congress. He led efforts in the United States to demand Philippine independence and ensured that Filipino voices were heard at national level. Second one is Sergio Osmeña Sr. He worked for political autonomy, believing that Filipinos should manage their own government and create laws that serve the needs of the people. The third one is Clara M. Recco, recognized as the voice of nationalism and sovereignty. He strongly advocated for true independence and the protection of national interests against excessive foreign influence. How nationalism grew. First is formation of political parties such as the Nacionalista Party, which organized movements for independence. Second is increased demand for Filipinos to hold government positions, proving that they were capable of self-governance. Third, writing of newspapers, speeches, and literature that inspired patriotism and strengthened national identity. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm JAMAICA Lucas, and now let's proceed to the steps towards independence. So this timeline shows that major laws and events that led to the Philippines becoming an independent nation.
So the overview
is the path towards Philippine independence was a gradual process. It happened through several laws passed by the United States government. So each law gave Filipinos more political power and prepared the country for self-rule. This timeline showed a major step leading to full independence in 1946. So the first one is Philippine Bill of 1902. So first, we have the Philippine Bill of 1902. This law was important because it created the Philippine Assembly, the first time Filipinos could elect their own lawmakers. It marked the beginning of Filipino participation in government under American rule. So next is the Jones Law of 1916. This was a major step forward because it's declared the Philippines would eventually become independent. It also gave Filipinos more control by creating a fully elected Philippine legislature. So this law strengthened that country's ability to govern itself. Then we have the Tidings Magnify Act in 1934. This act laid down the plan of Philippine independence by creating a 10-year transition period. It allows Filipinos to draft their own constitution and prepare for self-rule. So this law directly set the path towards full independence. So the fourth one is creation of the Commonwealth, 1935. So in 1935, the Philippine Commonwealth was officially created. This served as the transition government before independence. Filipinos now had more control over national affairs and were able to practice running their own government. So this period helped strengthen leadership and institution before independence. So last, Independence Archive, July 4, 1946. So finally, after the challenges of World War II, the Philippines was granted full independence on July 4, 1946. So the United States officially recognized the Republic of the Philippines as a free and sovereign nation. This marked the successful end of our long journey towards independence.
So, for the summary of the independence timeline, 1902, first political rights for Filipinos. Second, 1916, promise of eventual independence. So, the third one is legal path and timeline to independence. The fourth one is 1935, establishment of Commonwealth government. And last, 1946, independence finally granted. For significance, this law shapes the Philippines' political identity. Each step helped develop local leadership and nationalism. The journey reflects the determination of Filipinos to achieve self-rule.
Good day everyone, my name is RHODORA from Bid 2C. I am here to discuss what is the American colonization considered important and was not beneficial. American colonization, why it is important? American colonization is considered important in the Philippines due to its lasting impact on the education, language, public health, and economy. Ang pananakop ng Amerika sa Pilipinas ay tinuturing na mahalaga ang ilan dahil sa mga sumusunod na kontribusyon. Katulad na lang ng education system was improved, modern government structured, infrastructure and public health, economy development. Education system was improved o pag-unlad ng sistema ng edukasyon. Itinatag ng mga Amerikano ang pampublikong sistema ng edukasyon na mas accessible kumpara sa limitadong edukasyon nung panahon ng Espanya. Pakilala sila ng libreng primaryang edukasyon, pagsasanay sa mga gurong Pilipino, at paggamit ng Ingles bilang wikang panturo. at nagpalaganap ng literasiya at nagbigay daan sa mas mataas na edukasyon. Modern government structured o makabagong istruktura ng pamahalaan. Pinakilala ng Amerikano ang demokratikong sistema ng pamahalaan na may paghihiwalay ng kapangyarihan, executive, judicial, and legislative. Itinatag ang civil service system at nagbigay ng pagkakataon sa mga Pilipino na makilahok sa pamamahala, infrastructure, and public health o infrastruktura at pampublikong kalusugan. Nagtayo ang mga Amerikanong kalsada, tulay, dugtungan, at sistema ng komunikasyon na nagpasigla sa kalakalan. Pinabuti ang mga pampublikong kalusugan sa pamamagitan ng mga ospital, sistema ng sanitasyon, at pagbabakuna laban sa sakit. Economy development o pag-unlad ng ekonomiya. Pinasigla ng Amerika ang mga agrikultura katulad ng asukal, kopra at abaka para sa trading export sa US na nagdulot ng trabaho at kita sa mga magsasaka. Itinatag ang free trading na nagbukas ng malaking merkado sa US. Kahit na naging dependent dito ang ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. American colonization. Why some say American colonization was not beneficial? First, the Philippines was not truly free. Second, cultural Americanization. Third, economy dependency. And fourth, inequality power. Maraming nagsasabi na ang pananakop ng Amerika sa Pilipinas ay hindi nakabuti. Dahil sa iba't ibang mga dahilan. Kabilang na ang karahasan, pagkawala ng soberanya, at patuloy na pagdepende ng ekonomiya ng Estados Unidos. Philippines was not truly free or hindi tunay na kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Bagamat binigay ng Amerika ang kalayaan sa Pilipinas noong 1946, hindi ito nangahulugan ng ganap na paglaya. Ang mga patakaran tulad ng Bell Trade Act ay nagbigay sa mga Amerikano ng espesyal na karapatan sa ekonomiya at negosyo na nagpapanatili ng impluwensya ng US. Cultural Americanization or kultura ng mga Amerikanisasyon. Pinalaganap ng Amerika ang kanilang kultura sa pamamagitan ng sistema ng edukasyon at mass media. Ang pangunahing paggamit ng wikang Ingles ay nagpahirap sa pagpapayabong ng ating sariling wika at kultura. Nagdulot ito ng pagbabago sa panlasa at pag-uugali ng mga Pilipino na nagpapababa sa pagpapahalaga sa sarili nating tradisyon. Economy dependency. Ang free trade ay nagdulot ng pag-asa sa mga Pilipino sa US bilang pangunahing merkado at tagapagluwas ng mga produkto. Hindi ito nagbigay ng pagkakataon sa Pilipinas na magkaroon ng sariling industriya at maging depende sa ekonomiya. Unequal power or hindi pantay na kapangyarihan. Sa panahon ng kolonyal, ang mga Amerikano ang nagkokontrol sa pamahalaan at ekonomiya. Ang mga Pilipino ay hindi nagkaroon ng tunay na kapangyarihan upang magdesisyon para sa kanilang sarili. Ang mga patakaran ay madalas na nagpapabor sa interes ng Amerikano kaysa sa mga interes ng mga Pilipino. Kaya kahit may mga positibong epekto ang pananakop ng Amerika, ang mga nabanggit na dahilan ay nagpapakita kung bakit maraming Pilipino ang hindi naniniwalang ito'y nakabuti sa ating bansa. Nagdulot ito ng pangmatagalang epekto sa ating ekonomiya, kultura at kalayaan. That's all my part. Thank you.
In conclusion, the March to Recognition shows how Filipinos faced great challenges, but continued to fight for their independence while adapting the changes brought by the American rule. The reforms in education, health, infrastructure, and government helped shape the modern Philippines. but the spirit of resistance and nationalisms remained strong. This period reminds us of the determination of the Filipinos to be recognized as a free nation